All right, so it is July 14th?
13, 14, 13.
July 13th. And we bought this place May 11th. So it's been 2 months, a little bit over 2 months. And we are going to sit down and tell you what we've learned about buying a historic farmstead that happened to be a hoarder situation. So that's been fun. What
well, I mean, I think we're getting used to just the sheer amount of disrespect this property was treated with. Like, there are things everywhere, and some things raise a lot of questions. Like, there's a croquet set that there was a part of in every single building.
There's like a couple balls here. There's like the hoops for like the croquet set. We haven't found the mallets yet.
Nope. And like fiberglass insulation pretty much everywhere.
Like, it's like in the dirt. It's like ground into the dirt. Which is weird, because you'll pick something up and you'll think it's like some sort of fluff or something, but it's actually just like a wad of fiberglass insulation.
Yeah, and a lot of those were unopened packages that it seems that animals got into. The other thing is, like, some of the barns we have found where the missing doors are, and they are literally right in front of where they belonged. It looks like they fell off and they were just left to rot. And that seems to be kind of a theme with the property, is that the previous owners didn't put any care into the maintenance of this place. So I think that shock has worn off as far as just how bafflingly negligent they were. So now it's like, oh, well, why wouldn't it be like this? And then we just move on and continue to clean up.
Like, it feels like every time you go to pull something, like we were pulling weeds over by the side door of the house. The door to the kitchen that we use is like essentially the only door to the house right now. And so, like, Eric, you went to like pick up some plastic, and what it was like, it ended up being like 3 bags of plastic flowers that had like degraded and been covered with dirt and had plants growing through them, and had been there for so long that it was like peeling up, broke down pieces of plastic. It was so weird. Or like, I pulled a hose out from like one of the barns, and it was like laying in front of the barns, and it ended up being like, what, 8 separate pieces of hose?
All of which were ruined.
Yeah, and it was just like, it was just laying there under a bunch of dirt. And then when I pulled the hose up, I realized that there was a door rotting away in the grass underneath it. So that was a thing.
Yeah, but I mean, with all of that, I think there has been a lot of like fortunate things about the property, though. I think despite their best efforts, the core of the house still remains stable.
Our neighbor is awesome.
Our neighbor's been a tremendous help.
The trees are still alive. We got one of the roofs done. Like, we're starting on the house part. Nothing's been crazy awful. Like, nothing's crazy. I'm knocking on a wood over here. Nothing's crazy broke. We figured out the water for the barn, for actually 2 of the barns. So that was actually really good, because we were afraid we were going to have to run like a new water line out there. But we don't. So that's really nice.
And after like an entire dumpster, we have got each of the buildings on the property is, you're capable of walking in them and walking through them. None of them are fully cleaned out by any means, but it has been a tremendous amount of junk that has been cleared out of this place already. So I mean, we definitely are making progress. I think it can feel a little daunting at times, because there's so much more to do. Yeah.
But, I mean, when you think about the stuff that we've done, and like the stuff that we can get done in the rest of the year, like, it's so much. It just like feels, when you sit here and you're like, oh, the barn looks the same, the other barn looks the same. But when you open it up and you're like, the tiny barn, you can actually see all of the floor in it, and there's not like a pile of like legitimately 50 dead mice on the floor. That was a weird thing to find.
Yep, a lot of mice and other small carcasses.
Tiny rodentia. But, like, that's all swept out. The bottom barn, like, we have a chicken coop that's, like, we have half built it, and the only reason we stopped building the chicken coop is we had to start on demo on the house, which is also a good thing. So, like, we went from not really knowing what we were getting into, and then all of a sudden being on the property and going, oh my god, it's so much worse than we thought, or there's so much more work than we thought, to kind of a stable place where we're like, okay, there's a lot of work, but we can get it done, and this is what absolutely needs to be fixed now, and this is what can get pushed off to next year, this is what can get pushed off to the year after. So I feel like there's a lot more cohesive plan than what we had before, when we were like, this is great. This is gonna be great.
Well, and I think just having, you know, after having done triage on the property and knowing this is what has to happen now, and this is what can wait, has been really helpful, because at the start it's literally just like grab a shovel and start scooping stuff.
Yeah.
And now we're at a point when we can actually access the buildings and make real progress on fixing them.
Yeah, which is really nice, because you can enjoy the buildings now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can walk through that little barn and, like, take your time to, like, actually walk through it and, like, look at the cool way that it was built and stuff, and not worry about tripping over a pile of glass, right? Or, like, the low barn has most of the stuff out of the bottom of it.
Mm.
So you could totally walk around, like, all the junk's out of it. Like, there's still, like, furniture on one side, but, like, the chicken coop side is, like, completely empty, other than, like, the workbench and the chicken coop. Which, there was literally a path through it, and it was full of stuff on both sides. So that's, like, that is a huge amount of progress. We uncovered the entire slab for the kitchen, for the summer kitchen. In all honesty, that took our neighbor probably about 5 minutes with the tractor, but...
We found numerous, like, hand pump wellheads.
Oh yeah, we have like 4 of those now.
Just sort of strewn about the property, hidden in bushes.
We don't have 4 places to use them, but we have 4 of them. So that's good. It's good. What else do we have? We have chairs.
Lots of them.
So many chairs. So many chairs. We bought these 2 fancy zero gravity recliners, and I do like them. I do think they're really cool. I have about 30 more chairs in the other, like, how many people were they planning on entertaining, and how? There's no...
I don't know.
There's no way. What else have we found? A lot of clocks. There's a lot of clocks.
A lot of dishes. A lot of clothes.
There's a lot of dishes. There's a lot of clothes.
Yeah, and they're all ruined, but...
Yeah.
That's its own thing. I feel like we have at least 2 more dumpsters worth of stuff to get out of that barn.
Yeah. But just that one barn.
Mm-hmm.
I think minimally. There's a little bit of stuff up in the top of the 1840s barn, but there's really not much left in it.
It's mostly a couple of heavy car parts.
Yeah. There's a little bit of stuff up on the right upper side of the low barn, but that's mostly like burnables and stuff, so that's not very much. And there's not really much in the corn crib either.
No.
We got most of it out. So, I mean, like, in reality, we cleaned out 4 buildings-ish. Probably about 70 or 80% of the way. So that's a big thing. Takeaways on moving from suburbia to here. Although we haven't moved in yet. So what are the fun differences that you've noticed being out here versus being...
Well, the space is great. I mean, we have more space in this property than I think most of the parks in the town we came from. So yeah, the space is nice. I mean, you can hear the road noise here, but you go down the hill on the opposite side of the barn, and you don't really hear anything.
I think the other cool thing is just how much we learned about this place. like just how, like, the people who built this place were the pretty much like some of the first settlers in this area, and just how much other people have either accidentally or on purpose done to preserve what this place actually is. Like, by just not mowing and not doing anything else, they actually preserved a lot of the old trees.
Yeah, we have some tremendous old trees on the property,
and a whole bunch of oak trees. And so those are they're really, not only are they really pretty, but they're giants. And they've probably been here as long as the house has been here. But that's been fun. Mm-hmm. We got to learn how to drive tractors. So both of us can drive a tractor. Bronson just rides in a tractor, but he gets to ride the ATV all the time. What else? Mom is having a great time going through the hoarder barn, because if your mother is like my mother and habitually took you to junk shops and you know more about early American pressed glass than all of your friends, I think she's having a good time going through somebody else's junk. I think. I don't know. She can leave a comment below. What do you think, Bronson? How do you like the country? I can't see what you're doing. Okay, so the 7-year-old's upset about the country, but that's okay. He doesn't have his goats yet, so it'll come. It'll come. You're tired today. All right. I think, like, the wrap up for this is that everything takes a lot longer than you think it's gonna take. Like,
well, especially now. I mean,
yeah.
Post COVID, everyone's remodeling everything.
Yep. So you can't find stuff. So like, we're buying, like, most of our appliances we're gonna buy secondhand, or from like restaurant surplus, because we can't get anything. And that's like not really a problem. There's plenty of restaurant surplus. But I think, like, you have to be really flexible. And you can't come into a project like this with like an 1840s masonry house and expect to be able to do it the way you want to do it. Like, the house will tell you how to do what you want to get done. I think that that's been one of the biggest takeaways, where it's been like, I think we should do this, and the house is like, nope, you can't do that. We're not doing that. But it's fine. But I think flexibility is really key.
Yeah, I think there's just a lot that you can't do without, without sort of demolishing the property and starting from scratch. So I think you kind of, you're forced to work within certain parameters.
But like the things that I think we thought we were gonna do, like getting a garden in, getting the animals, getting everything here, just the sheer amount of cleanup that we had to do, like, kind of derailed all that. Like, we got our trees in because I knew if we didn't get our trees in, we'd be a whole year behind. And I didn't want to wait. So I knew that one of the first big purchases we made in the springtime when we moved in here was getting the trees in. Mm-hmm. And I think that's going to be really nice, because I don't think might have like 4 apples next year, but at least we'll be a year ahead on that, and at least we've put that into the property where we don't really have to wait another year for something else.
Oh, it's a
hummingbird. Was that a hummingbird?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know what that was for a second. It spooked me.
But I think like the birds have been really fun. Like, we have bird feeders in our house in town. Like, we have like 8 bird feeders in our house in town, and it is a lot of fun for us to like watch the birds. But like out here, it's not like anything. There's herons that fly over. There's a hawk that lives next door. There's so much woods around here that there's 30 species of birds that you can listen to at any one moment in time. And it's so different than like the robin, the cardinal, and the house sparrows mm-hmm. that you see. Oh, and the sky rats.
We get mourning doves more than we get pigeons, but
that's true.
But yeah, definitely a lot more wildlife.
And the chipmunks. And less squirrels.
Yeah, surprisingly, there's not a whole heck of a lot of squirrels out here. We see a few, but it's
more chipmunks.
More chipmunks than anything.
We've already had baby raccoons, which have since moved on. Not like moved on like dead, but like we had to put a roof on the building that they were living in, and so they decided to skedaddle when we made all the noise of putting the roof on. Actually, you know what? We are going to cut it short because I think I am getting a phone call from the person about our stove. So I hope you liked our recap, and this has been really fun. A really fun 2 months, really hard 2 months.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's your 2 month recap. I'll throw some other like tours on here and stuff, and thank you for watching. Bye.